Hey everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we are going to be looking at the 2022 Senate elections. We're getting extremely close to the midterms, and things are starting to get fun. We are just around 1 month away, or well, 3 days if you want to be technical when I'm recording this. But I love elections, and this is going to be very exciting. Now let's start off with the safe states: California, Oregon, Alaska, Oklahoma, Oklahoma. I don't know why I added something after that. I'm going to put the usual safe states here, like the ones you'd expect to see safe on the presidential level, and then go into more detail. Okay, there we go. So we have we also have this, We have a fairly even map over here. Oh, I forgot. Okay, we have a fairly even map over here. 12 states are going to decide our Senate. Well, not all 12 of these. I'd narrow it down to 2 or 3, but Washington's safe. That's a change from last video where it was likely D. This is a change. It is now safe D. Okay. Now let's look New Hampshire. This is now likely D. Last time it was also likely D. No change here. We don't have Republicans. They don't have a good candidate running here. I believe, their Republican candidate is Don Bolduc, and Republicans had a chance if they had nominated Chuck Morse. He would have been a really good candidate, but they didn't nominate him. And according to the polls, by the way, of course they're going to be skewed to the Democrats. But Hassan +8, I see similar margins, expect similar margins. According to Real Clear Politics, whose polls I actually do trust, it's going to be Hassan +8. I think it'll be Hassan +7 or 6. Now, I'm going to move on from Pennsylvania for now. We're going into likely states. Ohio, likely are. I've seen so much, and I'm surprised that this hasn't ended yet, of people thinking it's going to be lean or it's going to be tilt or even Democrat. No, guys, this is not a competitive race. No matter how great of a campaign Tim Ryan runs, the max he can do is get it to 4%. And he is not doing everything he can. He is running a good campaign, but again, it's not the perfect campaigns. And even if it is the perfect campaign, it's R+4. Therefore, this race is likely R. If you actually you look at Real Clear Politics polling average. Well, let me quickly check it. Tim Ryan, he is not the same person as Sherrod Brown, and Sherrod Brown's re-election itself is unclear. So 1.4 for average. Well, again, they're an aggregate polling service, so again, this doesn't really work out very well. But all I'll say is the polls are very wrong on Ohio. I mean, if we go back to the polls of 2020 polling Ohio, they were also very wrong then. A state that voted for Trump by 8% is not going to be a relatively competitive race. Okay, let's move on from there. Iowa is safe. Chuck Grassley, very popular. There was a recent poll that came out showing it would be relatively close, Grassley +11, but it's an outlier. As of now, it is an outlier. I could maybe move it to likely R+14, R+13. I don't see it happening. That one poll was a very big outlier with the rest of the polls in Real Clear Politics. Okay, now Colorado. Colorado likely D. I think Republicans, this is sort of like New Hampshire. Republicans may have had a chance here, but their candidate isn't the best. Joe O.D. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but he's turned into more of a meme than an actual candidate. There would be some hope if they had nominated Cory Gardner, but he declined to run. So it's going to be likely D. Michael Bennet has nothing he can really be used against him, and this isn't going to be a close race. So all these likely races, I suggest that you not pay attention to and analyze in depth. Ohio, again, polls are getting it very wrong. That's actually going to be my next video, why you shouldn't listen to 538. So make sure and subscribe to see why the polls will be wrong in the 2022 midterms. Okay, Florida. Republican, likely. There's no poll that said otherwise. Let me quickly, yep. Rubio +6, Rubio +7. He's an electoral juggernaut. He wins by outstanding margins, even in presidential years. He's Latino. He wins the Latino vote very well. And he's been very popular with Floridans overall. He's never had a competitive Senate race, I don't think. Let me quickly check that that's true. Yeah, in 2016, he won re-election by a huge margin. So did he do. And in 2010. Okay, yeah, he has not had a competitive election for Senate. He is good at Senate, at Florida, not really Senate. He would win if he ran for governor too. Okay, now let me go back to this. Now the state of. Okay, well, we've cleared out all the likely states, and we have 47 to 47, the battle for the Senate. Republicans need to win 4 out of these 6 seats that will decide the Senate, and Democrats need to win 3 of these 6 seats. So, I'm going to start off with Wisconsin because I expect it to be one of the least competitive here. Wisconsin is lean. This is a change from last time from likely are. I just don't see likely happening anymore. Ron Johnson's not running the best campaign. He is still doing pretty good as an incumbent, though. I say Ron Johnson are at +3 around that margin. North Carolina also around the same boat as Wisconsin. Ted Budd, not really running the best campaign, but the Democrat candidate, they're not running a good campaign either. I don't even think both of those candidates are running very well campaigns. In the end, it's going to be a partisan vote in North Carolina and ultimately end up as around R+2 or R+3. Now, Pennsylvania. We'll save that one for last. Nevada is actually a surprising outlier here. R+2, R+1.3 or 1.4. Nevada is Laxalt is doing extremely well there. That candidate has everything under control. According to independent polls, almost like 6 of them that have been conducted, Laxalt is winning. I have seen some Democrats point out, though, that in 2018 they also underestimated. Or not 2016, not 2018, 2016. I think they mean 2018 governor. Hold up. That may be true. I don't think so, though, because first of all, the environment is very different. Second of all, the candidate wasn't the most content person. I think, actually, no, it was Adam Laxalt, right? But yeah, again, he didn't run a good campaign, even if it was Adam Laxalt again. Yeah, it was Adam Laxalt. That's what I thought. Aggregate polling, though. Let's look at what the polls thought. They thought that Steve Sisolak would win by 1%, and he won by 4%. Okay, I guess they're making a reasonable point here. But again, the environment is very different. Adam Laxalt's opponent, Steve Sisolak's a very strong incumbent. Adam Laxalt did not run a good campaign. And Catherine Cortez Masto. She is not a very strong candidate either, not a strong incumbent, not someone who appeals to independents or even Latinos. She's lacking with Latinos if you go and look at those polls. Individually break them down by independents and Latinos, Adam Laxalt's overperforming with both of those groups. Therefore, lean R. Now, Arizona and Georgia and Pennsylvania. These are the 3 states I say must watch. Now, if Democrats win all 3 of these, they win the Senate. If Republicans can win one of these, that's good for them. Okay, I say Arizona, it's going to be tilt R. That means Republicans in the Senate. Now, I've looked into Pennsylvania very closely, and it's been hard for me to make up my mind on this. But in the end, I think Mehmet Oz is going to overperform in areas that Donald Trump just couldn't. And in 2020, he couldn't because of COVID. I think Mehmet Oz will very barely win. I could see it being 0.3% R plus. It would be very close either way. Now, Georgia, I had this as Tilt R last time, but I am changing its rating. It is now Tilt D. It will go to a runoff, I can guarantee you that. But in the end, I think Warnock will come out on top. He's a strong campaigner, strong candidate, strong incumbent. Herschel Walker has been running a very weak campaign. He's had lots of gaffes, and just last week, he had a new scandal where his own son came out against him, and said a bunch of stuff on Twitter. If Raphael Warnock takes advantage of this, I'm not sure if this continues. And they have a debate upcoming. Raphael Warnock will absolutely destroy it. Herschel Walker does so many gaffes, whatever you call them. Then Arizona, Tilt R. So I recently watched the debate between Mark Kelly and Blake Masters, and I was thinking, I believe Blake Masters won the debate. And I think in the end, Blake Masters will win the Arizona Senate elections. While polls don't corroborate me on this, yeah, they don't. Arizona's polls, even though they don't corroborate me on this, they are steadily trending. The polls are steadily going more and more favorable for Masters, and Kari Lake, the governor candidate, is going to absolutely destroy it because their Democrat governor candidate isn't really campaigning. Not sure what her strategy is. But Kari Lake, I think, will carry Blake Masters over the top. If they see Kari Lake on the ballot, they'll be and this person's the same party. Kari Lake will carry Blake Masters over the ballot, and the polls are narrowing. I think they will continue to narrow until Election Day, and in the end, Arizona will turn up R. That means our Senate prediction is 52-48. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like and subscribe. And if you want to see why you shouldn't trust these polls, you gotta subscribe and turn on notifications.